everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Wishing Star Knight, and with me today is my dog Jules. Say hi to Jules.
Hi everyone.
And the person holding her doesn't mean anything. She's just the handler.
Yeah, I'm just her personal handler. Jules, you have to be good. Kind to the camera. Kind to the camera. Okay.
And this is Celi, her handler.
Hello.
And today we're going to be starting, hopefully what will turn out to be a series of videos, but a brand new game that I'd like to do on my channel called What Would You Do? And basically this game is where you ask yourself, what would you do in the situation of a certain movie or even a show or even a video game? What would you do in a certain situation, and how would you get through it, and just how would you take it differently than the character would? Is that good?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. And I feel like in this game, suicide should not be an option. Because that's like the easy way out.
Yeah.
Like in the situations.
The worst way out, obviously.
Yeah. In those situations it'd be too easy, and it's like you either have this way.
You really have to think it through and be like, okay, if I actually got stuck in this situation, I have to face my fears and do this. Or
like if there's a snake pit, you can't just go, well, suicide.
I mean, it's not something you can just back out of or take gently. You have to actually.
Now, the killing of other characters for your survival, that is well welcomed.
Depending on the characters.
Oh no.
If it's for your own survival, I guess that is really up in the air, because you really don't know how you're going to react in these situations.
Exactly, because right now we're level-headed, we're calm, we're collected, but in that situation we have to think of when we're panicking.
How would we react? Yeah. Like our emotions are just going to be off the walls, so it's going to be like, what would we do?
And by that day, I probably won't have coffee, and you won't have coffee, and so something's really going to be off.
We'll be facing all different kinds of elements like exhaustion, lack of nutrition, malnutrition. Malnutrition, that's the word I was looking for.
Good job.
Malnutrition, and dehydration.
And the one problem that, let me just address this. The one problem I see in movies is they never have the problem with wanting to use the bathroom. Like in the Saw movies that we were going to talk about today.
And what if the girls are on periods?
Yeah,
what if they're on their period?
In that stressful situation, they're going to be...
I mean, their hormones are going to be all over the place, too, in that case.
Exactly. Because,
And if the guys are on steroids or on, if they're on certain medications, that will also affect their emotions and their behavior.
Yeah.
So it could really be different for each person in these situations.
So
you never know what's gonna happen next or just around the corner. It's just
because anything can happen really, and you won't really know.
Especially if you're put in these situations with strangers.
Yeah,
and you don't know them at all. You don't know what their personalities. You don't know what they're gonna do.
And if one looks like a pedophile and you have a baby face, then you really gotta worry because.
And they can con you, and they could be these two-faced people and just manipulate you.
Exactly. Me. That's me. Hi. For survival, hi. I am Team Survival. How are you? Okay.
Okay, so today's video we're going to be talking about 4 different movies. Well, I guess one's a series. One's considered a series because there's multiple movies. But there's 4 movies that we're going to be talking about. All are in the horror genre. And 3 are directed by the same director, and for some reason I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Shame. Neither can I.
Are you searching it?
Yes, I am.
Okay, but they are Saw, The Gallows, and Dead Silence are by the same guy. And as a bonus, we're adding House of Wax, which is by a completely different person. But we are going to be talking about what would you do in each situation of each of these movies. James Wan. It was off the top of my head, okay?
No, it's okay. It's okay, you're blondish.
I'm in the spotlight, okay.
So am I.
Did you just say blonde is shallow?
No. Definitely not. I said your blonde is showing.
How many blondes are watching this right now? Like,
Let me just
that in the comments below.
Let me just say, she's not a natural blonde, so...
I'm a temporary blonde. Let's put it that way.
So blondes aren't good enough for you now.
I just can't pull off blonde. Like, I'm not good enough for blonde. Sorry.
Put that in the comments below. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so let's start off with the biggest one of them all, Saw. There are 8 movies so far.
Yeah.
And to summarize, if you haven't seen these movies, I would highly advise watching them because, I mean, they're really good.
Yeah, they are.
They link together very well. It is like a big jigsaw puzzle, pun intended.
I want to get out of this video now.
Okay, that was terrible. But they really do. There's a big mystery to it, and it's really just, you never know what's going to happen next, or how it's going to play out, and it keeps you questioning, like, yourself, and you just theorize what's going on.
Yeah,
so,
1 minute you'll think this person's a good person. Oh, I can't wait for this person to win. Then you find out some deep shit happened. Oh, sorry. Family
That's
friendly.
okay.
Just bleep that.
I'm going to go ahead and say this isn't a censored video, so warning.
Okay, yeah, we'll put that in the
It
beginning.
is horror movies anyway, so if you're under 13, you shouldn't be watching this anyway, because it's horror movies.
Yeah, but let's just say you think somebody's a good person. They're not. They're completely horrible, and you just want them to die. Sounds bad, but you know, that's just how those movies play out. And then the whole movies just bring you into a loop.
Yeah, it really just throws you, like, you'll think and theorize about it being, okay, this person. It makes you want to figure out what's going on for yourself, and then at the end, just be completely thrown off by someone completely different that you would never expect. So,
yeah, it's
like Jigsaw, especially that.
Yeah,
we just watched that movie,
yeah.
and it's just wow.
It's just
it threw
amazing.
me for a loop.
You threw you for a loop?
I had watched it, and then I invited her over, and she watched it. So, okay, so this is a big series to talk about. So, basically, if we were thrown into a game of Saw...
Okay, we should choose which game, not just like...
Okay, so the first movie is basically 2 guys in a bathroom, and that's it. But the others, there's so many more characters and many more elements that are challenging them.
And fun fact, did you know that whole movie was just filmed in there with a low budget?
Yeah, it was by college students, wasn't it? Like 2 college students?
Yeah, they didn't think they were going to make a good movie, but they ended up making a
and it was
amazing
just
series.
It was like a certain amount of days. It was like just a few days or something.
Yeah, it was just only a few days, and the only things they could use is their own houses, and because there were some scenes in the house, I believe, I can't remember, and then in that one little crappy place that became famous. So. Okay, so which one were you thinking? I'm sorry, I had to just throw
I don't know. There's 8 different movies, so there's 8 different games. And some of them had multiple games in them, so it's just like...
Well, okay, I think one of my favorites were...
Okay, what would you do if you were just thrown into a game, though? How do you think you would react or behave? Well, let's start off with that.
Okay, so in my opinion, in those games, it's killed or be killed, but also work together. But if it's in a situation where literally you cannot do anything, there's no loophole, it's killed or be killed. Kill or be killed. But honestly, if I first woke up, I'd probably cry.
I would lose my shit.
Exactly,
sure.
because one, if these movies were out, but then this happened, so you would know all the stuff in your head, and you'd be like, oh no, and then you're panicking. Somebody would have a panic attack. But then, really, you just have to, you gotta pull yourself together, because if you're crazy the whole time, wanting to kill everybody, trying to stab everybody's back, one of those people could help you.
Yeah, I mean, if it's in a situation, like in a part of a game where he's challenging you and only you, then you gotta think about yourself.
Exactly.
You don't think about the others, you think about yourself. And then once you're done with yourself and it's on to the other people, then you try and help them as much as possible, because you want to all be survivors. Because you don't want to see people die.
I forgot which Saw movie this was. This one's gonna be a little hard. I don't know if we can answer it right off the bat. But what about the game where they had to cut off their own skin, or like a big chunk of it for whoever put the most in it?
Oh, I mean, do it quick and get it over with. Do like one big. I'd do like the girl just chopped off her arm.
Yeah, that girl was
Honestly,
smart.
I would probably do that.
Yeah, same. I would honestly do that too because the guy was just cutting away at his fat.
Yeah, like one piece at a time. Like
And
that
that's
would just
more
take
painful.
too much time. It's more painful, and I mean, if it's so much pain, you could black out.
Exactly.
And
if
you
you
could
black
bleed
out.
out.
Yeah, exactly. So that woman was so smart because didn't she cut off the flow of her arm too? Like the blood flow?
So there's a bigger chance of survival if you just, and a lot less pain. It's a lot. I mean, it's still gonna be.
It's
pretty
still
painful,
gonna
but,
be, yeah.
I would just get it over with and do it in one go, so you can hurry up and get out of that situation and be a survivor.
Exactly. And another thing is, I never thought about it, and I wouldn't want to be naked, but the thing is, you could have thrown in your clothes too.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that guy was wearing heavy jeans, he took off his
Yeah, the
jeans.
scale
and
wouldn't
threw his,
know any difference.
Yeah, because it was just eating
That's
away at
something
the
we
meat.
should really talk about is how can you break the rules but still survive?
Exactly, because you might be naked, but you would be alive with no wounds.
Yeah.
Because his pants, I think, if I remember correctly, he was looking like heavy.
And I mean, he was
jeans.
a oversized guy anyway, so it's a lot of fabric.
Yeah.
So it really would have weighed down the scale. He didn't have to cut his
Yeah,
fat
and
off.
he probably had shoes on too. And depending on what you see, I was like,
and like he was probably like wearing boots or something or heavy shoes to protect his feet.
And because he's a fat guy and he was a tall guy, he probably had big feet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they say about big feet? Big shoes. So, what?
I thought you were going a whole other direction.
Amber, get your head out of the gutter.
I'm totally editing that part out. Okay, so you think you would react, you would panic at first,
Mm-hmm, definitely.
and then you would worry about yourself. But
Yeah,
you
because-
definitely want to get to know your opponents, though. Like, who's playing the game with you.
The thing
Because they
is,
could
yeah.
easily stab you in the back.
Yeah, that's true, but it's like in that situation with those two, you can't really get to know each other because it's a time-based thing. I think they were both at risk of dying because there was also I can't really remember.
Well, with any game, though, you gotta think about that.
That's true, but in that situation, it was either one of you die, there was no getting over.
But okay, so if you continue on with the game after you've done your part, wouldn't you be worried? Like it would be on your conscience that you just left them behind and you let them die.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like there's no questioning it. But you know,
I mean, if you succeed in your challenge, then you should at least try and assist. As long as you're not the one getting hurt, then you should try and assist.
Yeah, but
I mean, if there's no repercussion from that, I think you.
Unless, of course, you were in the game with the two people and one of them had to die, then there's no help.
But if it's like a group of people, I think you should try your best to help the others. But when it comes down to it, yeah, you should.
And John says their names. Remember their names. Remember who they were. Tell their family what happened and. Because it'll get it off your conscience. Like be like this happened. I'm so sorry. It was part my fault, part John's fault. That situation was horrible. I will take it.
Okay, so say you're thrown into a game with a group of people. Like most of the time, it's like at least 5 people or more, right?
Yeah.
So say you're thrown into a game of just a group of people like that. How do you think it would go? Obviously, someone's gonna die because there's always that one stupid person that just doesn't follow the rules, breaks all of them, and ends up dead right off the get-go.
Yeah, and they're the person that thinks that they're better than everybody else. Oh, I shouldn't die. It doesn't matter what I did wrong, but you guys should die and let me live. So there's always gonna be that one person.
Yeah, that one conceited, like, I don't even know how to describe it, but that person always pisses me off in the movie.
Yeah, like in Jigsaw, there was that guy.
You have to play it smart. You can't just be dumb. I know you're, like, panicking, and, I mean, no one really knows how they're going to react in the situation until you're thrown into it. But, honestly, I might freak out, but I've, seen enough to know that if, after all the horror movies we've watched, we are smart enough to know to look for a way out without breaking the rules.
And let me just say right now, don't split up.
Yeah.
If somebody says, "Oh, let's split up to cover more ground,"
follow the horror movie rules.
And
don't split up.
Never say what could go wrong.
Yeah.
Or
I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's a major one. Oh, I'll be right back.
Don't have sex. Don't punch your V card.
Yeah, they don't. You know what? You're
even if you've already punched your V card, just don't have sex.
Yeah, don't have ever
situations.
Yeah, in any serious situations. Don't ever look at a female or even another male or another female male. I don't know, but don't ever look at somebody else and be like, well, we might die.
Be mature.
Yeah.
Be very mature. Do not act stupid. Don't try to impress anybody or show off. Just do what you have to do to survive, and try to help the others around you if you can. But if not, you gotta think of yourself in that case.
The only thing I can say is I would love to help other people too. Sorry, I kind of just like threw your dog. I hope you're okay with that. But the only thing is, if there was like somebody really, really bad there, like somebody that I don't know how to explain it, because John, Jigsaw, he only took people that did really bad things, but, the things that they did bad were scaled upon. Like, one person did something really shitty, and yes, they repented for that, but then another person did something really, really bad, and they feel no guilt for it. It's not their fault. It's that.
Like, people just have problems confessing. Like, that's one of the biggest flaws is that the people in these situations are just not willing to say, oh, I did something wrong, I guess I'll pay for it.
And to me, if I would try to help that person, but if they kept on being an asshole about it.
I mean, if you were just a little bit truthful from the beginning about what you did, you could possibly survive it.
Like, hi, my name is Celi. I vandalized a lot of cars and 50 people died. What's your name? Oh, come on, gotta come up with yours.
Hypothetical, okay. My name is Amber. And, okay, I'm gonna go with the situation in Jigsaw where she suffocated her baby.
Die. Please. Okay.
I don't have any kids, so just so you guys know.
I hate that girl.
Yeah, that is like the worst.
Spoilers right now, because I want to explain, because if somebody hasn't watched the Jigsaw movie, spoilers. Yeah. In the newest Jigsaw movie, or just the Jigsaw movie, there was this lady in the beginning, and she's been in the movie from the beginning, and she's a badass girl. She gets it together. She figures out what to do, and in the beginning, you'll be like, wow, I like her. I hope she survives. And then, and the reason why she was there is how she explains, is that her husband had killed their baby by having the baby sleep next to the guy, and he rolled over and suffocated it. So I was like, okay, then what happened? Because Jigsaw wouldn't have just taken her there for no reason. Later on, we find out that she just couldn't take the baby crying anymore in its crib, and she took the pillow and suffocated it and blamed her innocent husband, who then went crazy, basically.
Okay, I honestly would not have taken that situation, but we just watched the movie, and so that's what came off the top of my head. But I completely understand. Like, I definitely wouldn't do that.
Yeah, this is gonna sound bad, but I can't stand people like that. Honestly, I would have killed you. I'd have been like,
I would have let you die, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Like, if there's certain situations, like, they obviously can't change or they can't be helped, I would probably let whatever happened to him happen and just try to stay clear.
But for the people like druggies and stuff, I have a past about that, but I'm not gonna go into it. But not me. I'm clean. Nothing here. But for people like that, they need help. They need all the help they can get. You can't say that they can't get help. Sure, maybe they've tried in the past, but you can't just say that person's a goner anyway. They're eating away at their lives. That person, I would try to help. But a person that killed their own baby, you have no, that person has no sympathy.
But what if they are still on drugs, though, and then it just doesn't change anything afterwards?
Well,
maybe they think they're tripping this entire time, and then...
Oh, God. Imagine a stoner, not a stoner, but just
someone
a psychedelic.
hallucinating while going through this game would just be the worst. I would not want to be stuck with this person.
No, I would be like...
I think he makes sure that they're off their high before they throw them in, because there was a druggie before.
You don't know that. Jigsaw, he's a good guy, or not a good...
Well, remember his sidekick, Amanda or whatever? Wasn't she a druggie at the time?
Yeah, she was a druggie.
And wasn't she, just jittery and everything, but she wasn't on... Because she was having withdrawals?
Yeah. But, I'm just saying, Jigsaw's not a bad guy. He's an anti-hero. I'm going to say that right now. He's a cool guy. He's cool in my books. Okay. Please edit that out. No, I'm kidding. But, I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah.
Okay, so we're thrown in this situation, but, okay, let's say there is a druggie. Okay, but then there's this single mom.
Then there's an axe. Okay. We're not doing that. Okay, go on.
And then there's just the single mom who... Okay, you know there's that game where Jigsaw took a person because he was in charge of his insurance. Remember that one? I think it was like 7. 6 or 7.
Yeah, I think I remember a little.
Okay, if you don't know that movie, basically the guy who sentenced him to death because his insurance wouldn't cover him because apparently he didn't say anything about a disease or something he had, or like a heart condition or something. So when John got cancer, he refused to cover him because of this stupid formula that he had created for this business on all the applicants just to cheat everyone out of their insurance.
Oh,
basically.
Yeah, now I remember it. Okay.
Yeah. So, but to get back at that guy, he ended up abducting all these innocent people, basically.
Yeah, there was a lot of
the doghouse people, you know, they were shitty people. But, I mean...
Yeah, but they weren't shitty at the fact that Jigsaw would not have kidnapped those people. It was that guy. And... Which, that upset me a little, because I'm like, okay, if you're gonna go into Jigsaw's shoes or something...
But innocent people died in that game. Like, that game is a little confusing because... but there was a mom, I'm pretty sure she was single, but she was diabetic. And she was the receptionist, you remember? And she had like 3 kids and...
But the thing is, that wasn't Jigsaw. That was a different guy. So it's not really Jigsaw, if you know what I mean. It's not really Saw.
What guy pulled that off?
I thought it was the... Oh, no.
No, it was the same...
Oh, it was the same one. Sorry, I'm getting confused. You know, it's been a while since I watched these.
Pretty sure it was the same guy.
Pretty
sure it was John.
I thought it was the other guy. I thought it was the
detective guy?
Yeah, I thought it was the detective guy because John was dead at the time.
I don't know, that is pretty late in the series. So
yeah, so it's movie 7 because
he died in like the 3rd movie or something.
Yeah,
second or 3rd movie.
I think it was the 3rd one. Don't even ask me that.
Or no, 5 starts off with his autopsy, so it was 4.
Yeah, okay. So
it was 4.
No, he died in 3 because the 4th one was it was the day of his death, but in a different setting. Remember that? So he did that in 3 at the end of 3, but the 4th one was a whole loophole leading to that scene. So yeah.
So, but anyway, so say you've got this innocent woman in the game though, like, what would you do? Honestly,
I would try to help her as much as I could because obviously I would be there for a shitty reason. I mean, it's me. So I would be there for...
What situation do you really think you would be there for though?
Honestly, I don't know because I'm not really a bad person. Like,
okay, we're both goody two shoes. Like even when we went to explore the other day or yesterday, I mean, we were just scaredy cats because it was like we were scared of leaving the padlock on wrong or forgetting the keys or something like that. Like we were just terrified.
Yeah, though I have to admit, you may have went into the building first, but you made me open both doors and go in first. So
yeah, I made her open all the doors. And we kept switching back and forth on who was going to hold the camera because I didn't want to enter dark rooms. Like, when the lights were on, I entered them. But,
yeah. But,
so honestly, if we're in this situation, the bad thing we did was probably for our family. Because there's just
the worst thing I would probably do, which was I was trying to think of, is probably I stole money from a tip jar. And that tip jar was probably for a cancer patient, and then that cancer patient died because I stole money from the tip jar. So...
Well, I mean, that girl, she stole purses, and, like, she didn't... Like, she second-handedly killed that girl because she had her asthma inhaler.
The one thing that made me really upset was, like, that wasn't my fault. That wasn't me. That wasn't my fault at all, and it was her fault. She stole the purse. She didn't know. But still, she stole the purse, stole the inhaler, and the woman chased after her and had an asthma attack. So that was, like, 100% her fault.
Yeah, like, there was just no hiding that. And then, like, as soon as everybody... Like, she was acting strange from the get-go, so they knew when the syringe challenge came up. They were just like, it has to be her.
Yeah, but...
She was the only one acting strange. All the others were kind of being straightforward.
Yeah, so in that situation, I think I would not have let the guy being quite aggressive have the syringes, I should say. Yeah. Because the lady that stole the purse, she had stolen $3.53
cents or something, 58 cents.
And on the syringes were numbers, and one of them was $3.
He should have known better. Like, I feel like he took the fall for that one.
Yeah, I feel like...
And, of course, it came back to bite him in the ass when he got his leg chopped off.
Yeah. And he
was breaking the rules. He wasn't listening to what the tapes were saying. So that was like the big no-no of this.
And let's note that the things that he did wrong were in his past, like way in his past.
Yeah, and he was like really young when his shit happened. Like when his shit went down, he was very young.
Like I don't know who's watching this video. Like I don't know who's watching this video, but I'm sure there's a lot of teens out there that have drinking alcohol and something bad happened because of that. So, you know, he looked about in his teens.
You kind of learn
20s.
from those situations.
Exactly. So I feel like...
But at the same time, he knew better than to do what he did.
That's what I was going to say.
He was old enough to understand, so...
Yeah.
He wasn't like a teen. I think he was like high school-ish.
Well,
he was old enough because they were driving.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying that goes to show that even though he wasn't technically a shitty person, he... was shitty at taking rules or following rules, which is
he broke everything. Like he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing to survive. Mm-hmm. For sure. Like he just broke everything. Like everything we tell you not to do, he does.
He just broke it.
He's just that one person that drives you crazy in horror movies that's so stupid because if you followed the rules, you had a bigger chance of surviving. And he actually made it to the end. I was surprised.
Yeah, he made it all the way to the end, and that man died there. Because that woman, the baby killer,
it was kind of like, I like how they did that, though, because some of these, like, the challenge with the syringes, that made it back to that was kind of like a reference to the second or third movie. Yeah, and then the challenge where it was just the two of them stuck, and he ended up stuck in the room by himself, that was like the first movie. So I kind of like how they kind of tied that in a little bit. It was kind of like deja vu, just a different version, like a more modern version, I guess.
Yeah. Well...
Technically it was back in the day. It was like one of the first games, I think. But still, I thought it was kind of cool that they interpreted some of the first games in the final one. Yeah, so in summary, what we would do, or what I would do, because I can't really summarize yours, you have to summarize your own. But in summary, I would basically I would freak out in the beginning because, of course, you know, when you wake up in that situation. But I'd most likely get calmer, and I would try to help the people around me. But if it's just me in that situation, like I'm in the only room, I would have to be calm, try to look through everything, try to listen to John, because he says some good things. He says some... Okay, yeah, sorry to cut you off. Oh, but as soon as you hear that first tape, that's when it starts setting in, okay, you need to do this, this, and this. And it kind of sets in on, like, you need to calm down and get your shit together and be smart and do what you're supposed to. And John usually says something that leads to their escape, but he says it in such a cryptic way that you're like... Yeah, you have to, like, listen everywhere and decipher what to do. Yeah. Because wasn't there that one movie that was, like, the key is in the eye of the beholder? Isn't that what he said? And it was literally... And there was, like, literally an x-ray of his eye. Yeah, of her eye. But you have to... No, it was a boy. It was a boy. I was thinking of Scary Movie. Okay, but honestly, you have to try and be as brave as possible. Like, when it comes to inflicting pain on yourself, like in most cases with this game, you just gotta do it and get it over with. Like, let your adrenaline take over. Like, it's fight or flight. Yeah, but don't be just stupid and cut off your arm. Like, rip a part of your shirt and... Yeah, try to outsmart the rules. Like, kind of bend the rules a little bit. He was naked in this case, in the eye. Oh, yeah. He was naked. Like, if you're naked, then come up with another way. Like, there's almost always another way around it. Mm-hmm. I mean, John was pretty smart. He was pretty smart about taking everything else out of the room. Like, his setup was intense. But from what I've noticed, it's like if he says something like, you know, like in the final Jigsaw movie, he was like, this is your key to freedom. And it was literally, spoilers again, and literally in the shotgun shells, there were keys. Like, he didn't mean shoot each other. Keys. So... And watch what he's doing. Like, I mean, that was one of the only cases that he was actually there. But you just have to pay attention to your surroundings. And, like, as soon as you wake up and get over what is going on, like, you calm down a little bit, look at your surroundings and start figuring out your way out. And, I mean, you have to kind of get to see who's there and... Yeah, like, don't just go crazy. You have to register everything very quickly in order to survive, basically. Yeah, and if you're in that situation, don't think, you know, death would probably be easier than doing all this. Try to live. And it's time-based, so don't fight. Like, the worst thing to do is to yell, to fight. Just try and figure it out yourself. Like, if they're fighting, leave them to their own devices and try to figure it out for yourself.
Unless those people have to.
Unless there's someone smarter, then you can, like, pull them aside and be like, we need to get this, we need to do this, and we have to get out.
And if you're ever in a situation where all 5 people literally have to cooperate together,
like one of the games where all 5 could have survived if they.
Yeah.
That one kind of drove me wild because I mean they were all smart people, so you'd think they would have figured it out, but it was just like, man, can you imagine if all 5 had survived that game?
Yeah, because isn't this the one where they all like were gonna get their being pulled in by the chain like in the first movie, or in the
draining blood and.
Yeah.
Oh, the chains! That was another reference to another game.
Yeah, because I
was wondering why it was kind of deja vu like.
Oh, that's why I said earlier. Oh, wow, I remember that. That was, I said I like that game because it was like they could have survived.
I mean, they really like every challenge in the Jigsaw was references to other games. I think.
Yeah.
Almost all of them.
Yeah.
Because the pail kind of reminded me of the death trap on the head with the guns.
Oh yeah, and the nurse he saved. I don't want to spoil too much because basically, yeah, everything came together. And I was going to say something. Oh, yeah, in the movie where they could all survive and they're all being pulled by chains and everything. And they were put in that one room where there was tubes. Mm-hmm. Those tubes or those big, what were they called?
The grate things.
Yeah, the
sewer tube things.
2 people could have fit in.
The tunnels.
2 people could have fit in one of those.
Yeah, like it was obviously big enough. They should have figured that one out themselves.
Yeah, like they should have said, come with me.
That's another thing about checking out your surroundings and kind of figuring it out. But the thing is most of the time it's time-based. Mm-hmm. Like, almost all of these games are time-based.
That one was time-based.
So that's one of the things you just have to, you can't really socialize and just become buddy-buddy with everybody and talk it out. You can't fight, you can't yell, you can't waste any time. You just have to, as soon as you get into the room, you have to listen to the tape and figure it out.
Yeah, but it's like that one was time-based, but it's like there was, somebody could have just said for a second, come with me, dude, come with me, you can survive in here with me. It doesn't take 5 seconds to pull that guy and bring him in. So he could have survived.
Yeah, I mean, in most instances in these movies, I can't talk right, but in most of these situations, like, it's to where you could easily save more than one person.
Yeah.
Like, easily. There is one game that I like to reference. I think it was in, like, the 7th movie. They kind of run together a lot because they're so linked together. Like, it could be one big... Like, all of them put together, they could make one big movie.
I'm surprised Jigsaw didn't have a cat, and that cat was the murderer the whole time. Like, that's where that movie was going. Like, I love
the doll is possessed and just comes alive, Billy.
Yeah, like, the movies have no instances of paranormal activity, but, like, in the final movie, I wouldn't be surprised if Billy was actually behind the whole thing.
Okay, but like I was saying, in the 7th movie, when the girl just wouldn't shut up when he was trying to pull the key out of her throat, do you remember that? It was like, speak no evil or something.
Yeah.
But, like, she should have, honestly, I know it hurts, but if it's life or death, like, she should have known to shut up if she heard the tape, but she didn't care and she just yelled.
Yeah.
Like, I know she kind of tried, but she didn't try hard enough. Like, I feel like, yeah, I know it would hurt, but, I mean, people have gone through worse. Like, feeding tubes, people put feeding through tubes down that way. I mean, you'd think that it would...
Oh, no, I just thinking about that.
Yeah, I don't like that. I didn't like actually seeing that, but...
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah. I feel like we've talked enough about the Saw movies where it's going to get too repetitive now.
Yeah. Okay, so that is all for talking about the Saw series. And since it took us so much time, since it was such a big series, I think we're going to end this part here.
Yeah.
And on part 2, we are going to talk about The Gallows and Dead Silence, which were both directed also by James Wan, I think. And then we're also going to talk about House of Wax.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies because it was just so...
Dead Silence is my favorite one, and then The Gallows, we both just freaked out.
You didn't even hear that one. What? You did a bad pun in the beginning, so I was like, yeah, that was one of my favorite movies. That was Wax. But no, it's already dead now.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for watching. Give us some great comments down below, and thank you, Celi, for joining me. I keep doing that.
Yeah, like, what am I doing?
I have to talk with my hands, apparently. I did that a lot.
Yeah, well.
But thank you for joining me.
Yeah, it's actually, I was nervous in the beginning, but, I actually think
this is fun.
Yeah.
This is a lot of fun, actually.
I'm a little dry mouth, but that's okay.
So you'd be willing to do more of these videos?
No.
Especially if I get a certain amount of likes?
Nope. No, I'm kidding, yeah, I guess. Unless your commenters are like, no, we don't want that one in there. She's weird, she's icky, she's...
Alright, so please, if you would like some more, subscribe to my channel. I'm uploading on Mondays, occasionally Wednesdays, and Fridays, so you can start the week with me and end the week with me. Also, comment down below, give us some feedback on what you'd like to see next on the channel. We do have some more collabs coming up, parts to this. We also have an exploring video, which I'm very excited about, which we chickened out a lot more than I thought.
Yeah, okay, let's not hype them up too much.
Yeah.
It was an okay video, but it could have been better.
It was just our first one, so cut us some slack, okay?
Yeah, please don't burn us.
But please leave a like on the video. It would go a long way, and it will let me know what you guys like to see. And yeah, and if you want to get to know me more, go check out all of my social medias. Their links will be down in the description below. And if you would like to see another part to this, well, we're doing another part, but after the second part, if you'd like to see more to this series of videos, just tell me down below, what would you do?
What if somebody said, now I want you to do Disney movies, and you're gonna do...
I mean, we could.
No, No, you didn't.
Yeah, by the way, it doesn't have to be just horror movies.
You didn't let me finish. What if it was Disney movies and it was Kill, Fuck, Marry?
Oh my god. Okay.
And it was Aristocats.
50 likes and we'll do that.
No, not Aristocats. Not Aristocats.
Okay, 50 likes, we'll do Kill, Marry, Fuck. How about that?
Kill, Marry, Fuck.
And we'll let you guys suggest, all those below.
Great. Wonderful.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Until next time, keep on wishing. Bye.
Bye.